Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
This is Rangru, low, low, low.
And folks, today we're a Division 3 matchup for the SD2 League on Costa Tritza. So, Rang, who do we have? What's going on in this red-on-red action?
Well, on the left-hand side in the blue, we have Babaryann playing as the Italian Free Liberation Corps with a Maverick income. Right-hand side in the proper red, we have Sir Gensei playing as 26 Guards Infantry with a balanced income.
So we're going to see an opening smoke from here from Pucci, the little 81mm stovepipe. Kind of an interesting thing to be seeing here. Now, I mean, we've seen the Italian Liberation Army once about, was it 2 weeks ago, a week
On
ago?
the same map, on the same matchup as well.
Ooh, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. So what the heck should we be expecting from the Italian Liberation Army? How the heck is this going to work out? Or how should it work out on paper?
Well, once again, lots of infantry, but pretty lackluster and anti-tank compared to the last time we saw them being piloted by CK530. It does seem like Babaryann is taking a little bit more heavier in the anti-tank department. And of course, 26 Guards has a lot of infantry to spam as well, but a lot of rather nasty heavy tanks. And we've seen Sir Gensei open up already for an SU-85 and the IS-1.
Ooh, you're right. You're right. Didn't even see that till just now. I kind of got myself lost to watch this 47mm pop gun try to engage this Maxim and probably kill it for sure. But like, yeah, that thing looks
Yeah,
ugly.
I know, it's just so bare bones. It's not even like a gun shield on it. Those poor blokes.
Yeah, yeah. It's the 40K equivalent of an Imperial Guard anti-tank weapon. We don't expect you to live. Yeah, the 65 mil's not much better. Yikes.
Oh.
Yeah. But the Abusier over here, they're gonna go and kill that Maximum between the two of them. I mean, they're engaging that poor guy way too much. And looking otherwise, the Paracon Dututsi trying to get across his open field. Maxim's giving him the what for, though. I think that Maxim is going to just control that open space just way too easily for him.
Yeah, just using those heavy machine guns is going to help out quite a bit. Babaryann managing to take the northern little village compound here. Decent amount of infantry, even bringing out, one of the best tanks ever made, the L-35.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you know it.
I mean, you could fit that thing in the back of a minivan, that's how good it is.
that's called portability, Rang. That's what you got to do. It's helping out the logistics over here as we move through Russia. Unfortunately, there's no separation of high explosive in church here, as the Maxim does get pounded into the dirt. I think actually by the 81mm. Yep, both those guys unabashedly declaring war on God himself.
See how that plays for him.
Yeah, my imagining is they're going to get smoked pretty quickly.
Yeah. But yeah, really for Babaryann, trying to play heavy in the town and up north is his best bet. Both sides are infantry spammy divisions, but the Italian infantry spam is a bit better compared to 26. So he really just needs to try and secure the town. Oh, running way too close to the Superior, losing one squad, and once again, I think it's a PTRS, but still.
Yeah.
There goes that push due to two 14.5mm shots.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, too. I'm looking at that right now. My first thought is, that gives me, that PTRS gives me PTSD. That happens way too often, and I understand the idea of, I just lost something real quick. My first thought would be, I'm not going to go and have these really optimistic, let's call it, infantry debarkation points unless I know that I'm holding that territory like crazy. If there's a massive shift in territory, then you can be aggressive about it. But if you know front lines are roughly there in the first place, why are you putting debarkation that far down?
Yeah, that's what I said Strupiner for.
Exactly. That and whatever the Algerians are over in the French Foreign Legion kind of thing as well. So.
Yeah. We're seeing just a huge investment of infantry here from Babaryann. Of course, he's playing the Maverick income, so pretty much he has to win in the first 20 minutes, or he's going to have a very bad time later on. Sir Gensei definitely has a rather deeply built deck.
Yeah, 3 ISU 152s. 2 more in the B phase with a lot of veterancy. Yeah, that's gonna get really nasty really quickly.
Yeah, that's just the perfect counter to pretty much any vehicle, infantry, or anything that has two legs on the ground for Gensei. I mean, I don't think much can really survive 152 millimeters of Soviet kaboom.
Not easily, anyway, that's for sure.
Oh,
Now, Motto over here, trying really hard to get, close to those Automachiki. Not really what you want to be doing, though. Actually, just taking a quick look down to the south. Yeah, those guys not having the same kind of death wish that the troops on the northern side are having.
yeah, down south we just see such a huge concentration of force here from Gensei, but of course with the fog of war he doesn't realize that his opponent doesn't have a whole lot. Yeah, he could very easily go and take his flag, but you just don't have the information.
No, it doesn't seem that way now, does it?
Oh, we're seeing also the KV-1 and the IS-1. I do like the position of these, because you can kind of shoot along the supply line of that road. It's just going to be about getting them in a bit more of an aggressive position to actually start impacting the central town fight.
True. True. KV-1E, though, in the central position, because there is still one up in that northern town as well. KV-1 in the central position, he's going to go and start engaging the Parakutsi. Unfortunately, rather effectively, I would argue. Those guys are not going to be able to be very combat effective.
Oh, we're seeing also the Italian pioneers being brought in. Yeah, Babaryann is actually getting some good hedge rate into his town. He's bringing in more infantry, though some of them are actually getting sniped along the road here. The IS-1 and the KV-1 in a really good spot, and it's his long-range anti-tank. Because Babaryann doesn't really have a whole lot. Well, he has 17-pounders in B phase, but it's not B phase.
No, it's not going to be for quite a bit of time here. But it's not going to stop Babaryann, so, I mean... Actually, wait, ooh. That's Baltimore. Ladies and gentlemen, Maryland has come. But,
God save us all.
Exactly. I think you got a single bomb off. A single bomb. The ZSU is just that deadly. Will it kill, though? Oh, no, it's got two. Nope, doesn't kill.
Nope. But Babaryann is making progress, but damn, that heavy armor for Son Gensei is really starting to pay himself off as he is denying reinforcements into that town. And, well, Babaryann, he really needs to get one more flag to get that juicy +2 points bleed. And it is definitely very possible. There's one, potentially two flags in the central position, which he could potentially grab.
Especially when the Maros as they get out here. Yes, there's Automachiki. Ooh, no, it's a 3-star Automachiki. Yikes, this is going to be over. This is going to be really, really ugly. Watch this forest fight. It's going to be super, super nasty.
Oh yeah, and the Sturm Vikis as well. That is a whole lot of Vikis.
That is certainly icky, that's for sure. And you can see right now the Maros, yeah, get torn to shreds.
Oh. Yeah, the veterancy definitely paying off quite a bit. I mean, the Italian SMG is pretty damn Gucci with its long range, but in a, forest fight like that, the Papa Shah does not really care.
Interestingly, Yak 9 comes in, kind of probably, kills the Sherman. I don't even think he'll go down either. I feel like the 20 mils are very lackluster. Even against the Yak 9. Shell and smoke, but that's not a kill.
Oh, he's going to be able to bugger off, and this is buying Gensei precious time to get reinforcements into that town. And that's exactly what he's doing, bringing in some CQC troops.
Which is the right call. I feel like more than anything else, the Automachiki are probably the deadliest guys on the field right about now.
Yeah, and the Sturm Vikis as well. They're definitely a very good combo, especially against the Italians in the town. We're going to be entering into B phase here, and that's when things start to get a little bit crazy for Babaryann, as his income advantage really takes place. But he's in a pretty good position so far. He definitely could have, a little bit more ground, but if he start getting that +2 in B phase, he'll be in a pretty comfortable position entering into C phase.
True. That is true. But he's got to watch out for the Andrayusha over here in Phase B for the, the Russians. That is not going to be pretty at all. We actually are going to see that southern side some engagement will happen. The Morrow is going to go and just give himself up completely. He hasn't died yet, but I think it's more because, for some reason, the Ultimachiki are on hold fire or something.
I think Gensei he doesn't have the range to shoot back. Oh, Gensei comes in. He does notice that and brings in the Ak-9B, but he didn't actually move array the Ultimachikis. But he's actually going to... I wonder if this is going to be a full-on counter-attack, or Reverie's just going to do a limited push.
Well, there's not enough to stop him, so I mean, this could be a very, very bad idea. Because the nearest help is, what, about 1.5 kilometers? Yeah.
Yeah.
So launch Yama are just going to go down, unfortunately. Not even with a whimper. More like a rather radical explosion, I'm sure.
The Italians have really weird calibers, like 47mm anti-tank guns, 65mm infantry guns. What were they thinking, man?
I knew the reason for it at some point. I'm sure roosters out there would probably know what to crow about in this particular case. But I think it has something to do with the fact that it was a holdover from World War One. I might be wrong on that one. I used to know. Along with the other arcane knowledge of rather vestigial worth, even in regards to World War II stuff. I think we're going to see another northern push here. It's not going to be beautiful. In fact, it's going to be hideous more than anything else. But there is going to be the potential for a northern push.
Yeah, Gensei's really trying to dig in that town like Stalingrad. He has CQC troops spread out all over the place. And with the veterancy to boot, because he does have the combat on the field. So yeah, Babaryann's doing these small pushes with his pioneer troops. I'm not going to try and say a battalion version. But he definitely needs some artillery fire support to try and dig Gensei out before pushing up.
True. The Guastatore.
Guastatore?
I have no idea. I'm just that's me listening to Lady Khan and hoping that I'm saying it correctly. I'm sure she's probably cringing. But yeah, Italian pioneers. These guys are nothing to sneeze at. I feel they have a little bit less firepower than some of their contemporaries do, just like the 8 Lee Enfields. Not saying it's terrible, but I'm sorry. Yes, please.
No, yeah, the regular superiors are definitely better, just because you have semi-autos as well as a machine gun. Yo, the Beretta M38 is pretty damn good. So they're not bad really, especially for 25 points.
But the 150-meter engagement bracket is the issue. Yes, it's easy to do that in a town setting, but when you're trying to aggress over open fields into a town, that's when it gets really rough.
Oh, counter-attack here to Thermoviki's great push here from Gensei.
Excellent.
The problem is the lack of anti-tankers. Well, I guess the L-35 is just going to run right into the KV-1. So, yeah, that was a pretty easy thing to deal with.
So it seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we do have a bunch of... Ooh, a 75 mil finally being brought on in. Like a moderately normal-sized artillery piece for the front lines. Petticoat to Tutsis down to the south, Mars to the south. I feel like he's waiting for Sir Gensei to aggress and then counterpunch with some of these reinforcements. I might be wrong here.
Yeah, or maybe he's just worried about pushing out of the forest. Oh no, he's just actually just getting everything there first before moving in piecemeal. Which is definitely a good call. You don't want to just move in one by one. We're also seeing the Andreusers on the field. So I think the central position is going to get rather explosive very shortly.
And here's the problem, I guess, with the fact that, I mean, the second that those mortars start to open up, it's going to get disgusting very, very quickly. Because the Andreyusha, especially with firing at that distance, is going to be a fair amount of spread.
Yeah. I hope he just kind of decides to shoot more closer to the town to deal with the frontline threat rather than trying to go for mortars or anti-tank guns. What is he targeting? No, he's targeting the front here. Trying to go for the Sherman.
Interesting call. I mean, he's not going to get quite the spread he would... Oh, wait a second. Actually, you know what? He might be able to hit a stag hound. He might be able to even hit that reinforcing infantry. It's awful close, though.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's hard to miss for 300mm of high explosives.
No, but actually, I'm saying to a certain extent, ooh,
Oh!
stag hound goes down with the first barrage. You want that spread in the Andrayusha. This is not generally, stag hound aside. Two of them would have hit exactly where he was. Jeez. This is not a killing kind of vehicle. This is a suppression vehicle for a reason.
There we go, he pretty much suppresses all the infantry in the center, but he doesn't really have any means to do any effective counterattack, unfortunately, so they're going to be pretty much fine.
True. True. Pretty much. That's true.
Yep. Yeah, we're at 15 minutes in, 5 minutes or so left of this B phase, and Babaryann hasn't been able to secure that +2, and he is starting to get a little bit challenged in the town here. So, I mean, just as long as Gensei doesn't completely collapse, which is usually the balance on Maverick dynamic, he'd be in a good position.
True. True. I think right now, Gensei might be slightly kicking himself about not trying to target the artillery park. Yes, he got a kill on that stag hound. But I think that artillery park is far more deadly, far more worthwhile to expend munitions on. And I'm pretty sure he knows he's seen it before. So a curious decision indeed.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of Gensei's troops are being pinned down, and Babaryann is effectively counter-attacking and pushing on through. There's still quite a lot of deadly troops which Gensei has available, those Thermovikis and Sibiris and nasty. But Babaryann is bringing in the Shermans, and there's not a whole lot of anti-tank in that town to deal with the Shermans.
True. True to the PTRS, and I think that thing right there is far more... Oh, Yak 9B. So we might see a similar interaction what happened last... Oh no, he might even go down here in this one. Of course I say that, and that's, again, Castor's Curse as he just kind of scampers away. Huh. No.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Just right at the end, he does go down. A very good kill there from Babaryann. And even bringing out the hero fighter.
122mm off-map is going to absolutely devastate this push. This is a great position here.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe one went down, but I couldn't tell you from what. Could not tell you for the life of me. Unfortunately, it looks like some of the troops are going to escape that bit of deadliness. There's a second 122mm off-map being called on in.
The Andrayusha's having to move about because of counter battery fire. And oh god, that's not going to be a forest here anytime soon.
No, I think it's going to be the installation. They had that one to look at the surface of the moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a heavy amount of...
And the Andrayusha goes down!
Oh, wow.
Miracle snipe.
Wow.
Miracle snipe. That's a big loss right there.
Yeah, it's a huge loss. He only has one of those. I don't think he has insurance either.
I don't think so.
It's really going to come down to these off-maps, because he needs high explosive firepower to keep Babaryann pinned down in the town. And he's using up those off-maps rather quickly. We've got the second one being dropped, and it's going to buy him some time in the center, but... Or actually, he can afford to buy time, so against the is, because once we get into C phase, just that income advantage is pretty nice. And he's still holding on somewhat well into the center.
I confess I'm watching as these Sturmovikis move on in. And there's the Sherman that's right there, kind of following, watching the road. Guard deep. Okay.
Oh. But I think the problem here now from Gensei is just the lack of anti-tank, because those Shermans are providing a lot of high support. Gensei is trying to fix this with a KV-85, and yeah, a KV-85 would be more than adequate for dealing with said Shermans.
Can we just very quickly note that there's an absurd amount of infantry being brought on in?
Oh! Hey Khan, there's an absurd amount of infantry being brought in.
Thanks for pointing that out for the folks at home. Yeah, you want to take a quick look at this reinforcement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10 squads. Mostly there's Paracuda Tutsis. So, you know, fairly well-rounded troops, I would say. And I'm putting that rather understatement of the year.
Yeah, that's a lot of firepower being brought in, and Gensei's starting to look a little bit thin on infantry in the centre here. A lot of his troops are down to half squad size, so I think just this, you know, reinforcement of essentially half a company should be enough to break his deadlock.
You know, you'd like to think that.
I would like to think, yeah. I really would. 17-pounder on the trying to shoot. What's he trying to shoot at?
I think it's the IS-1.
Oh, the IS-1. There we go. But just too much firepower, and actually going to be dropping in mortars onto the M15. Babaryann has no chill when it comes to trying to blow up the enemy backline.
I think that's what he needs to be doing. I feel like his own bombing aircraft are really, if the Shermans go down, one of his only counters to the heavy equipment that's coming in the other direction.
Yeah, it's definitely a good call. Because like bomber aircraft are definitely very useful, especially when trying to deal with some of the more heavier armor.
Meanwhile, the wave of Italians, well, is starting to kind of come forward. The legion, if you will, of Italians. But if they don't get out of that circle in the next 40 seconds, ooh,
Two circles.
It's a Venn diagram you don't want to be in.
If you're in the middle of that Venn diagram, you're mega buggered.
That's why the Esploratori will certainly be Esplodi.
The Paraducci are just full sending down the road right in front of a KV-1, but they don't care. They probably care a little bit. They should care. DP fire is pretty nasty.
Yeah, but they're more concerned about that Zis-3, which you have to go and just doff your hat a little bit to them. Now, otherwise, you gotta get close to the Gemma post. Wait, the KV-1 just went down.
Oh, Sherman?
I believe so. I wasn't really paying attention. I was watching as the Su-85 might get engaged here. The Venn diagram of death starts to come down. The
Oh, it was the 6-pounder on the road.
Ah, okay. That would make sense.
Yeah, definitely would make sense. But yeah, it's actually, I mean, you're in the C phase now. Gensei does have an income advantage, but I mean, Babaryann is full on attacking through here. It feels like he's very close to breaking Gensei, but Gensei just has the income to be able to pour, you know, human rage into his town and just buy him time. He just needs more time to buy.
You know, the issue here is that time is not a particularly cheap resource. There's only so much you can do by putting the blood of noble Italians on the line here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Babaryann does have a decent amount of artillery fire support, pinning down Gensei's troops, but Gensei can just keep, you know, piling in bodies to slow down Babaryann's attack. The off-map artillery completely stunting any progress here for at least a minute or so, and every minute's going to count at this point.
That's true, but there's still another wave of troops. And they're preparing. I mean, we're having some more troops getting ready to kind of deploy. Those mortars and that 75 mil, it's rapid, aimed, very effective fire, I would argue.
Yeah, it's working really well. Just the radio traits on those make him much more deadly than your average mortar or field howitzer.
Oh no, geez, there's 5 pieces back there. The 2 mortars and 3 pieces. So yeah, those Strafniki, normally Strafniki are absolutely terrifying just from the whole kind of meat shieldy opportunities that they bring. Much less so when you can barrage them into the dirt.
Yeah, and we're seeing another off-map artillery here and a platoon of Marrows, so both sides are just gonna keep on committing. Fortunately, Babaryann does have a C-phase card of infantry, so he should have the availability to survive. And at least one of the benefits of playing his division is it's really just a lot of infantry spam, so the 80 income is not going to be as bad compared to playing more of a tank division, for example.
That is certainly true.
It's just about trying to break Gensei's line somewhere. I think he's going to try and do it all the way up north and grab that flag, which is actually a really good play. It's not a whole lot of forces here from Gensei. And he has a decent amount of troops up north, which he can use to exploit this. And there we go, +2, 4 minutes. That's durable for Babaryann.
Doable, but I would always kind of caution unlikely, because as soon as you're bringing things like the ISU 152s, which should be hitting the field pretty quickly. Those OT-34s are also quite scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just going to be about whether Gensei can... I don't know. It's could... Because if Gensei retakes that northern flag, yeah, it'll buy him like a good amount of time, but if his +2 point bleed lasts for just another 2 minutes, it won't really matter if it goes back down to a +1, because he'd just be bled out so much.
Sure.
So it's a pretty critical moment for Gensei to push through, but just looking on the map, he has a lot of blue compared to a lot of red.
It's just, again, when this is a question we had over here on Tuesdays, the matter of massing them as well. I would argue the most effective units over here for the Starkovi would have been the off-map units.
Yeah. And yeah, Andrewsha, if it was still alive, I think that was also a big loss, because he was managing to pin down Babaryann's attacks, but he just needed more pin down capabilities.
True. It's very, very true. You know, I have to laugh, because the 75 mils, again, like, these things are pop guns, and yet at the same time, for 50 points, I never really got to realize how price efficient these things were. If you can kind of even, if you amass them even, you know, minimally.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just very precise, high explosive fire support.
Jeez Louise.
Because Gensei kind of brings in the big, fancy, high explosive firepower, but Babaryann just has the constant pressure of just, you know, constant artillery barrages. And he's gone through quite a bit of supplies. He's down to his second supply truck here, almost completely out. And those things have pretty much been constantly firing, which is a good thing to see. I notice a lot in SD or Wargame when people bring in like a more traditional artillery park. Yeah, there's this times where it's not shooting. And yes, I mean, it uses up supplies when you shoot. But most of the time, when it's not shooting, it's not exactly being useful.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You can't take it with you, so you might as well use every last round you've got. So.
Yeah. It's the point of the artillery gun. It's constant suppression, especially for an artillery park like that. And Gensei has meant to bring it back down to a +1, but as you can see, he got bled out so much. +1, it only has 3.5 minutes. And for him to pick up 2 flags will be, yeah, quite difficult.
Especially as these Maros actually start to pick up KV-85s. Again, guys, normally you're used to kind of seeing troops like the Gammon Bombs, like the Parakat or Tutsi, but the Maros, they got Faust 60s. Those things are delicious.
Oh.
So.
And a whole lot of Berettas.
You can just kind of tell the difference, the weight of fire as well. We actually have 3 Crusaders on the field. Jeez.
Yep. Babaryann is not taking any chances when it comes to hostile air power. And as you can see, Gensei does have a decent amount of tanks, but he just can't really get them into a position to use them effectively.
And he's donating them one by one, too, unfortunately.
Yep.
Taking a look back down to the bottom real quick. Nothing going on there. Okay, and back to the top.
Yeah, southern side has been completely neglected. Really, Gensei probably could have pushed this a bit more heavier. I mean, he does have a lot of heavy tanks. I mean, you saw that last time on this map, when the person, I think it's Nonchalant, playing 26, managed to make a good amount of headway in the southern and central positions, because, hey, when the enemy doesn't have heavy anti-tank, it can't really do much against heavy tanks.
And that's certainly something that could have been happening here. Now, unless there's a crazy just collapse, I kind of feel we should almost be able to take this to a ×2. What do you think, sir?
Cat is quite reasonable. 2950.
Yes, sir. And folks, with that ×2 happening here, we are going to see as that 1410. Yet, did not expect, first of all, the Italians to have such an effective anti-air net. Two, to see their early tube artillery really getting some good solid legs, and unfortunately get some really key pickoffs over here against Gensei. That Andreyusha, I cannot overstate how much of a bad, unfortunate kill that was. That's a big kill there.
Yeah, yeah. He was moving it like forward to try to get out of artillery fire, but he probably should have pulled it back towards his line. So I think he was getting spotted by something. So rather unfortunate.
And yes, we're going to see, maybe just get a 12-12 here for the last second. Nope, and just to
Nope.
be that's the tap right there. So well done. Well done indeed over here to Babaryann.
Yep, and a pretty bloody match. Only a 900, 800. It's different in regards to KD.
I think a lot of that too is just from the fact that it was such an infantry battle here, as opposed to one side or the other being inordinately focused on the vehicle play.
Yeah, looking at kills, 1 KV85 doing decent, but nothing else that really stands out from Gensei's side.
The same thing is over the case over here at the Italians as well. With Babaryann, I mean, we have one Guastatore, and maybe the 81 millimeter. Like, other than that, these guys did not get a ton of kills.
Oh, everyone kind of did their part for, the freedom of Italy. The liberation
Yeah.
of Italy, you could say.
That's true. That's very true.
But yeah,
Um,
good job for Babaryann for, playing his division strength in the town, and really just kind of forcing Gensei into that tunnel vision of fighting in the town, because by God, he won in that town.
exactly. Exactly. Um, any final thoughts, sir?
Oh,
Well, folks, in that case, then, I think that's going to call it quits for our Division 3 coverage today. Until next time, I'm Conor Org.
I'm Rangaroo, take it easy.